I want to talk about some big changes that have been happening in the Trump administration of late.
President Trump has fired James Comey as the director of the FBI. Why?
So obviously this made big news, and a lot of people were making comparisons to Watergate. But as a South African, I see a lot of parallels and similarities in the way our current president, President Jacob Zuma, is running the country. So probably about in March, the president fired the finance minister and his deputy. So Minister Gordon, the allegation or the reason that people, the whole backstory behind it is a bit too long and complicated to get through. But the allegation that's been made is that Zuma fired him because he was basically refusing to sign off deals which were seemed unaffordable or corrupt and that may benefit President Zuma and his family. One of these deals was a big to build new nuclear power stations in South Africa, and you really love to know who was one of the countries that was bidding.
South Africa's Minister of Energy, Tina Joemat-Pettersson, signed a Russian intergovernmental agreement on strategic partnership and nuclear cooperation in secret.
Yes, of course, it had to be the Russians. I mean, who the fuck else would it be? But you can see, I mean, even the way in which James Comey was fired and the way Pravin Gordhan was fired are very similar. There are some interesting coincidences.
Wait, okay, I just got to stop it. He was talking to FBI agents in Los Angeles, and he looks up, and there's TV screens in the background, and he sees that he's fired from television.
That is what we are told from our sources, myself, my colleague, Renee.
How were you told?
I wasn't told. I learned through a TV screen.
That's extraordinary.
That's life.
So he found out that he was being fired on the TV. The president gave conflicting reasons for why Pravin Gordhan was fired. As Trump, his spokespeople said one thing, Trump himself said another thing, and the same with Zuma. He said one thing, his people within his party said something completely different. There was this intelligence report that said he wanted to get rid of Zuma, Pravin Gordhan wanted to get rid of Zuma. Then there was that Zuma wanted to inject new life and bring younger people into government. And then the other one there was a breakdown in trust between Zuma and Pravin Gordhan. But this is not the first time that Zuma has done this. He's done this throughout his presidency. The problem in South Africa is the way our constitution is set up. It was designed that we would have an ethical and moral president running the helm, but unfortunately, it basically gives the president too much power, and he has power of who is in the. We have a single prosecutions system, so it's the National Prosecuting Authority. He can decide that the prosecutor there. Key people in the police. So he can effectively remove people who may investigate him and replace him with people who will protect him and make sure that he never gets in trouble, basically. In fact, he has done that.
Last year, Joemat wrote to the police minister after he was suspended, claiming that he believed these allegations were a smokescreen. He's accused the minister of interfering in the independence of the Hawks after he reportedly investigated the controversial upgrades to President Jacob Zuma's Nkandla home.
And those are the parallels that I see with Trump. Trump is doing what Zuma did many years ago. When Zuma took the presidency, he had been tried for rape and he was acquitted of that. He was found not guilty. He had these 700 charges of corruption relating to a military defense contract that happened many years ago called the arms deal in South Africa with a number of European defense contractors. The prosecutor dropped those charges saying that they were, it was politically, there seemed to be, political interference or whatever. And so when he took the presidency, he slowly got rid of people that, could investigate him or prosecute him. And so the only way we have accountability of this man in South Africa is through our court system. We're very fortunate that we still have an independent judiciary. So this whole thing of Trump draining the swamp to me is bullshit. He's not going to drain the swamp, he's going to fill it. But make your voice heard, because I promise you that we saw this in South Africa. People became complacent and said, let's give this guy a chance, and you know what, it didn't really work out well, and we're trying to get rid of him. It's not going to be easy, but that's I think the point that I want people to take from this video. Don't think that this is a small little issue. It isn't. It does worry me a lot. For sitting in South Africa, I mean, for me, you know, a lot of people would say is that this is a story. When I read about this, it was something that Jacob Zuma would have done, and even my friends and family said the similar thing. We laughed and said, this is something that Zuma would do. So that's the message of this video. You know, you need to go out there and do something about it. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I got my message across, and thank you for watching.